But for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It is my pleasure and my privilege to be your host and moderator for this afternoon, this evening. Today is April the 12th, 2026. We're deep into the fourth month of the year. Hard to believe that. And spring is right upon us. I just saw on the news that there was a parade in Washington, D.C. having to do with the cherry blossoms. So they're really excited about that. So we may actually try to drive through there and see if we can't get some pictures of that. It's our first time actually being on the road and traveling specifically at this time where there's a chance for us to be able to catch these cherry blossoms. So we may just try to do that. We also, besides having Dr. Prasad with us, we have Jeff Ashby that's here also. So he will be sharing with us just a remarkable story, a situation that he and Dr. Prasad and others have been working on, and is right in line with the very subject that we're going to be discussing today. So before we get to hearing from Dr. Prasad, because Dr. Prasad has a lot of this information off the top of his head. He's published books on Parkinson's and Huntington's disease, so he doesn't need any of these slides. I put some slides together and extracted a lot of information from his own papers into the slides. So, but I really don't think we're going to be spending a whole lot of time on the slides. We're just going to let Dr. Prasad tell us whatever he wants to share with us on this subject. But to lay the foundation for our discussion, let's go into some of the slides that I got ready for you. The first thing we always have to tell you is, what the FDA, their disposition on our discussion. So nothing that we're about to say has been evaluated by them. And when you hear testimonials, they're purely anecdotal. Results are atypical. That means that what happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So neither the Healthcare Support Association of America, Engage Global, Dr. Prasad, Jonathan Jones, or any of the authorized representatives are making any claims that the nutritional supplements that we talk about, the formulas that we talk about, will cure, treat, or heal when it comes to disease states. Only the federal government can declare any substance to be a treatment or cure for a disease. So that is by law. That's the reason why we tell you this. So this presentation is for information and educational purposes only. It's not intended to be a substitute for a visit to your doctor. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Now, having said that, realize that Parkinson's is in the pandemic stage. Yesterday was officially World Parkinson's Disease Day. That was just yesterday. So, but since yesterday was not Sunday, we're talking about it today because we have our meeting, our normal conference here with Dr. Prasad on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, but just because it was yesterday doesn't mean that we can't talk about it today. So we're going to share a little bit of the background, few statistics on this horrible condition, and then we'll let Dr. Prasad tell you the good news and why this is not a death sentence. However, statistically, things don't look good. 25.2 million people, that's a projected number of cases to have Parkinson's by the year 2050, 112% increase. Now, the population aging accounts for 89% of the rise in the cases. So 90,000 Americans newly diagnosed every single year. That's 50% more than previous estimates. So that means that something is taking place that's making this accelerate. So just know that, even if you don't pay attention to numbers, and because I don't really like to look a lot at numbers because, numbers can be skewed one way or the other. But the point of this is, and this is just common sense, the situation is getting worse. The economic strain has broken through previous projections. So right now, the last time the statistics were uncovered, and by the way, to do this search for statistics, I told AI to do a deep research. So it went out and scoured, came back with about 10 different references for statistics. And the most recent statistic with regard to the economic burden is $82 billion a year as of the year 2024. The financial burden that is expected to reach 79 billion mark. And hang on, it says the financial burden surpassed, that's it, the 79 billion mark that was not expected until 2037. So there's your number. So back when they started making these projections, they expected that it would be 79 billion by the time we hit 2037. We're at $82 billion in economic impact, and that's just the year 2024. So what is the number last year, 25, and what will the number be this year? Well, the current projections indicate that it's going to cost a whole lot more money to deal with this particular condition. Certain populations bear a disproportionate share of the disease, and unfortunately, it's men who are more likely to develop Parkinson's than women, and non-Hispanic white men are experiencing the highest prevalence of death in the United States. The age is between 75 and 84 years of age. Environmental factors also come into play: pesticides, solvents, air pollution. These are all factors when it comes to this condition. And it could be that I had a conversation with Dr. Brazos Minshew. This is going back some years. We were in discussions about formulating a product. This was long before I even knew about Engage Global. But this man was the product formulator for a really large natural health company. I mean, massively large. They were, at that time, they were doing 200 some million dollars per year. And he had already created formulas to the tune of $1 billion in sales. So that's how robust he was as a product formulator. And he said to me that a product that he formulated to deal with Parkinson's was only selling, I think he said $5 million a month or so. So the company didn't want the product. But he explained that a lot of it was centered around golf courses, because that's where he did his studies. He did his studies on golfers, and determined that it was the fertilizer for the greens that was causing the problem. And he had come up with a formula. In fact, very interesting that his formula has components in it that I know to be in Dr. Prasad's formula. But it worked, and it ameliorated a lot of the symptoms that these golfers were having, and so on. So very interesting that kind of research does exist in real terms. But we're going to start our discussion now with Dr. Prasad. Dr. Prasad has a storied background. He was the world's first radiation biology PhD, and he spent 30 years as a professor at the University of Colorado School of Medicine. And so he's forgotten more than most of us know. He had risen to the level of being invited to be on the nominating committee for the Nobel Peace Prize in the category of medicine. So that gives you an idea of just how robust Dr. Prasad is when it comes to scientists. So he may not be looking at $1 billion yet in his products, but his product formulations are having $1 billion impact, because you can't put a price on health, can't put a price on the impact it's having with you and your family. So thank you, Dr. Prasad, once again.
Thank you.
For joining us in discussions like this. So those statistics, when you hear those statistics, that's right in line with the research that you've done on this condition, is it?
Yeah, it is very disturbing.
Yeah. Well, that's the bad news. But the good news is you stepped up to the plate and knocked it out the park once again.
That's right. That we are doing something to reduce the risk.
Yes, indeed. And we're grateful for that. So how about we do this, Dr. Prasad? I'm going to put some of these slides up because I handpicked a bunch of them, and decide, which of them you would like to make some expressions on, and we go from there. But this one basically went, some of the reasons that you had written in your paper as to the causes of Parkinson's.
Yeah, these are the results. These are the main causes that you are talking about it.
So toxins are very real.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, the environmental factor is real, but what here it is missing is the not only environmental factor, but also how the internal stressor, like increased oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, can affect the aggregation of alpha-synuclein, which is the main causes of the Parkinson disease. So when you talk about for example, right now, the treatment of, say, Parkinson disease focuses on the symptoms of the disease, not the
mhm.
causes of the disease.
Yes,
But
yes,
there is a
yes.
prevention plan in for all diseases, including Parkinson disease, and that emphasize good diet, which we agree, a good lifestyle, which we agree, reduce exposure to environmental toxin is very good idea, but the incidence of Parkinson's disease has not decreased. That means this current strategy of prevention is totally failed. So why? Well, first reason could be that uh, the human behavior is so weird that it is difficult to follow any dietary suggestion, environmental suggestions. Many environmental suggestion is beyond your control, so you can't control the certain aspect of environment. And so the main reason the failure is not only that human can't follow that, but also they did not address the current prevention plan that does not address the internal stressor or internal causes that causes the disease. And until you do that, and what they are, well, first, as you know, they are the first one is the increased oxidative stress and inflammation. That's one very important component. Second important component, and equally important, is intestinal dysbiosis. Intestinal dysbiosis means number of harmful bacteria increases in your gut and number of beneficial bacteria decreases. When this happens, we call them intestinal dysbiosis. And when that happens, that contributes the initiation and progression of all human diseases, including Parkinson's disease. So this is second main causes. You have to address them, but nobody has addressed them very efficiently. Third is the loss of collagen. Collagen is extremely important because one of the major function of, first, 30% of your total body protein is collagen. That means it is present in almost all organs in your body. And one of the major function of collagen is to maintain the structural and functional integrity of all your organs. So as you grow older, you can see loss of collagen in the skin because the skin becomes wrinkled, but you don't see
Mhm.
loss of collagen in the heart, brain, or any other organ. But there is also occurring. That means their function is affected. So they did not address these causes of disease. Another fourth one is the omega 3. Omega 3 is so important in the brain that omega 3, as you know, has a DHA component, which is very important for the brain, and EPA, which is very important for heart function. But what happens that if you are getting older and your body environment has a high oxidative stress, that omega-3 fatty acids easily get oxidized and become non-functional. 40% of your brain membrane is DHA, one of the component of omega-3. So if they are not functional, your brain is not going to be functional. So these are the four major causes of the disease, including Parkinson's disease. And until you address them, you are not going to get any benefit. Yeah,
I'm
here is
sorry, I was muted there, but that's mind numbing, Dr. Prasad. No pun intended. that those four main components
Yes.
have such a huge impact. But you didn't stop there. You went on and added some more things to feed, the damaged neurons.
Yeah. For example, you see that here, my Code 4 Foundation. And as you know, I have given so many lectures internationally and nationally on this issue, Code 4. And that, for example, micro daily EMF will take care of your oxidative stress and inflammation at the same time. This is very important. Both have to be done. So you take care of one causes. Then second, the most important second important causes is probiotics. So that with prebiotics, because it will reverse the intestinal harmful effect of intestinal dysbiosis and cut off the gut-brain toxic pipeline. But important thing is that probiotics, prebiotics will reverse the harmful effect or of the intestinal dysbiosis, and therefore one of the second causes of the disease, Parkinson's disease, you took care of it. And third cause is collagen peptide. And there was a study in human, and that 60-year-old individual, they looked, they had a cognitive dysfunction, and did the MRI study on the brain. They found, surprisingly, that certain area of the brain structure is deteriorating, is decreasing. And then, of course, they measured the cognitive function. He was suffering from cognitive function. So this guy was a smart, and he said, oh, let me try collagen. And he tried collagen peptide, 5 grams a day for 90 days, and did MRI study again. And they found that the structure of the brain improved, cognitive function was improved. So I don't know, many doctors don't realize these kind of things when they are going to treat the patient, that you have to take care of these. These are the scientific fact, clinically tested. And so until you take care of intestinal dysbiosis, you will get some benefit. For example, if you get a drug, a standard drug, L-Dopa or other medication. But these are the symptoms, not the causes. Until you take it at the same time, you are treating the symptoms, you also take care of the causes of the disease, then this is okay. And the fourth one is the omega-3. Omega-3 is also, you are dysfunctional because they are already oxidized. Until you replace them with a good one like we have, then brain will not functioning very well. So here is simple procedure. And then another thing happens in Parkinson's disease and also Alzheimer's disease, that in advanced cases, in case of Parkinson's disease,
Mm-hmm.
advanced cases, 50% of have cognitive dysfunction. Also, just like, forget Alzheimer's disease, dementia. And then at that time, they become very agitated, hallucinations, see all
Mm-hmm.
kind of things that you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
very aggressive behavior. So how do you take care of that? Very simple. You take them the CBD, not 100 milligram, but maybe 200 to 400 milligram, and it will be calmed down. And the reason we know that, because the CBD will increase the serotonin level, which you makes you calm and quiet. It increases the dopamine level, which makes you happy. It decreases a glutamate level, which makes you unhappy and hyperactivity and so on. So this is very important things to do that.
That's pretty impressive, Dr. Prasad. So, a lot of people steer clear of CBD. I suggested it to someone just a couple of days ago, and they were afraid that they were going to start developing some addiction
No.
to CBD isolate, which is absurd.
Example, completely true. Because CBD is the only agent. It is non-addictive, first everybody knows that. But it is also approved by the FDA to given the children who suffer from some kind of hyperactivity disease.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yep.
up to 750 milligram is non-toxic. I take
Mm-hmm.
myself every day, 200 milligram. And so the question is, I can take 400 milligram if it doesn't work with me.
That's
But
right.
I have more problem of the pain because I fell down than the brain or any uh, anxiety problem or depression and things like that. I
Hmm.
use the things for pain,
Right,
and that has been very helpful.
right. So this CBD is a really important part of
Is
this for
extremely
people with
important for many people, even for a kid. I mean, for a college kid, for example, they have sometimes very depression, anxiety, relationship, poor grade, or worried about many things. But this is very, very important for everybody.
Hmm.
And
And you
another
made it.
thing is very important to remember when you have a Parkinson disease or any kind of a neurological disease, that if since you are an older person, it happens in older person, your digestive enzyme production gradually decreases as you get older. So, in addition to core 4 and a CBD, it is important to also have a digestive boost so that your gut is completely healthy, your brain
Hmm.
is completely in good shape. And
Hmm.
then you take a medication that doctor has recommended, they will be more effective.
Yeah.
And some of the problem of L-Dopa and other treatment right now is, as you know, that after 5 years is very, very good quality of life for 5 years. And then after that become worse. Your
Wow.
symptoms, rigidity in muscles becomes worse. And why it becomes worse? Because L-Dopa you are taking it or any other dopamine-like substance you are taking, which increases dopamine, because the deficiency of dopamine is the main cause of Parkinson's disease. So doctor will try to elevate dopa as many ways as he can. But what happens sometimes, L-dopa or dopamine itself, if is producing in its excess amount, they get oxidized and they generate a lot of free radicals, and then they started causing damage. And so that's why after a certain time, the current therapy becomes non-functional, actually make it a worse. And so, but if you combine them with the causes of the disease that we are discussing, core 4 plus CBD and these things, you will not only increase the effectiveness of current therapy, but also reduce the potential toxicity. So it is very important.
That's amazing, Dr. Prasad. So the primary treatment for this disease actually has a feedback loop that increases toxicity that contributes to the disease.
That's right. So after 5 years, the fellow who discovered L-Dopa treatment, at that time I was there, postdoctoral fellow, Dr. Kazias, fellow from Greece, very good fellow, very bright fellow. He is the one who discovered the treatment of Parkinsonism, L-Dopa. And I used to go around in a Brookhaven National Laboratory. He has a 12 patient of Parkinson's disease. And his initial theory was that melanocyte stimulating hormone deficiency causes this disease. But later on, because of our feedback to him, he changed his opinion. And then I
Hmm.
started working on DOPA. And of course, it was like a magic.
Wow, wow, wow. So you contributed to the formation of this.
Yeah, I
So at
mean,
least the man.
theoretically, I mean, I was not a doctor, but I used to go around with him to see
Hmm.
12 patient and I see how the interaction is, and I was working his other theory, melanocyte stimulating theory, that did not work. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, those are interesting story, but I was there
Yeah.
when this was developed, and that's why I know the side effects as well.
Wow. 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 So it falls right in line with other issues that come up with pharmaceuticals. They can have
Yeah.
temporary benefits, but they're really just masking the problem. They're not getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah, that's right. He said there's nothing wrong with those agents, but the thing is, those ones treat the symptoms of the disease, not
Right.
the causes, because causes of the disease is still going on. So disease continue to slowly progress it. You feel little better, but but if you combine your approach, current approach, with our proposed approach, then it will be fantastic.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and I hope everybody understood. Just grasp this. That Dr. Prasad is not saying don't use this L-Dopa, but if you address the root causes, the
Right.
oxidative stress and the free radicals at
And
the
use the
same
current treatment.
time,
Yeah, and use current treatment.
yeah, you'll get longer lasting results rather than going backwards
and no side effects.
with no side effects. Wow. Okay. So take a screenshot of this, folks, and you'll see basically with Dr. Prasad's his theory here with this. Current treatment, short-term relief, get some benefit there with the standard therapy all by itself. But if you want longer lasting results, then that's when you would add Dr. Prasad's micronutrient formulations to
Yeah,
that. And this is
for
a
because
great example of it.
just adding antioxidant alone is not sufficient. It will have
Mm-hmm.
some value, but not the optimal one. You have to use
Right.
all core four plus digestive enzyme, and CBD. You don't have to use it if you don't have symptoms.
Right.
At least these core four plus digestive enzyme is a must.
And these are the elements in the core four, microdaily, the
Yeah,
omega 3 that Dr. Prasad just talked about, and now the probiotic daily for the intestinal dysbiosis and the collagen daily.
yeah.
So, Dr. Prasad, this is one of my favorite right here because it blocks the protein that does damage, to those neurons in the brain, specifically when it comes to dementia. But it has a positive effect also when it comes to Parkinson's, as you just explained to us.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's amazing that no neurologist will ever recommend collagen peptides. They are treating any kind of neurological disease. And it has so important function in the brain, especially you can see that it has the collagen peptides has a, also not only that, our collagen peptide is very unique because collagen is destroyed from all your body by
hmm
the enzyme called collagenase. Collagenase enzyme will destroy collagen. So even if you use a collagen peptide and don't use the inhibitor of collagenase, you will get a sub benefit, but it's temporary. So
Yep, you lose what you make.
we added a amla extract and white tea extract, which both have a combination with much higher level of inhibition of collagenase. So newly formed collagen can be stay there for a long period of time. It
Wow.
is so simple thing, but I mean, you think that neurologists who treat these kind of diseases should know about collagen. It is
Yeah, you
so
would.
important, you
Yeah,
know.
you would think so, but their licenses uh, tie their hands, as it were. But
But
I hope everybody who was listening to you heard what you just said, Dr. Prasad. So,
yeah,
in case folks are wondering, yes, you can buy collagen peptides, and you might even be able to find it cheaper. But think about this: with Dr. Prasad's formula, your body keeps what you make. The other ones, your very body is producing enzymes that degrade the collagen. But
yeah,
Dr. Prasad added a component here that blocks the degradation of collagen, so you keep what you make. It works in your body, it stays there even longer. So that's a beautiful thing, Dr. Prasad.
yeah, it is very important.
Now, why did you think that the brain boost also would be somewhat beneficial? Because you've got even more CoQ10 here,
Yeah,
you've got resveratrol.
yeah. The only two things there is extremely important because a brain boost. One is I don't think we had what do you call it, a precursor of membrane,
Mm,
like what was that, choline,
choline.
phosphatidyl choline and phosphatidyl, um, another one, turmeric.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the membrane structure, and membranes are very easily damaged. So sometimes people don't have any Alzheimer or Parkinson disease, but sometimes they start forgetting. Say, for example, younger
Mm-hmm.
people in 50s, then they said, I don't know what I do. So in that case, you take Core 4 plus Brain Boost to
Yep.
further improve your brain function.
Very good. Very good. That makes perfect sense. So there's the core four, and as Dr. Prasad mentioned, you can add in the additional support,
Yeah,
digest
as you need it,
and brain boost for additional support.
support. Yeah, exactly.
with that situation. So
And even earlier stage, when you don't have a Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease, but still people start forgetting it.
Yeah. We forget. I've had no symptoms whatsoever, but there are times I'll walk into the room and say, "Now, what in the world did I come in here for?"
So sometimes, so those kind of people, is adding a little bit extra support because your brain is exposed to the highest level of oxidative stress, free radical, than any other organ. And brain at the same time, brain has the lowest level of antioxidant compound or enzymes.
Understood, completely understood. Well, we're gonna, it's one thing for us to talk about this, Dr. Prasad, because we love to talk about it, and we can draw on the whiteboard, we can hear you tell us the science behind it and all that. But Jeff brought some receipts.
Yeah, yeah, that's some evidence.
Yeah, he brought some evidence that this is no laughing matter. So Jeff, I'm gonna step aside here. Just go ahead and help us to understand why folks can have confidence that Dr. Prasad is not just some crackpot scientist, but he really is onto something. Talk to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan. And I appreciate you putting together a Sunday like this where we can have this conversation. Because if we go back just a little over 6 weeks ago, Dr. Prasad and I, over the telephone, talked about this particular individual, somebody that we care about. And he has had just a horrific battle with Parkinson's. And it's gotten to a place that the carbidopa levodopa is not working. Just like you stated earlier, it 5-6 years, and then you get dyskinesia so bad.
Right.
And that's the erratic movements, that inability to control things, and his life was just getting worse and worse and worse. And a friend shared this with him. You and I had a conversation, and I just want to share with everyone on this call, and particularly you, Dr. Prasad, because I I know that we had this conversation, but to bring back an incredible response just after 6 weeks of using what you have described here, the Core 4, Brain Boost, and then the addition of the CBD boost really made a big difference for him. And so I'm going to go ahead and just play this. We captured this just about a week ago. Well, it was actually on the 30th of March when Jay came on and talked about this. So Dr. Prasad, here, this is just a follow-up from what you have shared with us. Just amazing.
I've noticed different areas in my life that are improving, and sleep is definitely one of them. And it's a blessing, because there's nothing worse than not getting your sleep. I can say for sure that I've improved a lot since I've been taking these supplements. And it's been up and down, but some of the things I've experienced gives me great hope. And I can't wait to testify to all of you that Parkinson's doesn't have a rope around my neck anymore. And I want to thank you all for your commitment. So thank you.
Wow.
And
Wow. Thank you, Jay. And just for the benefit of those that are here, how long have you been taking Dr. Prasad's formulations? Just
I'd say about 6 weeks.
about 6 weeks. That's about a month and a half. Fantastic.
Yeah, when you say, yeah, 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
There, Cookie, being next to you, what could you add to what Jay has shared? And you've had your own experience. You've also been on the Core 4. What would you add? And then what have you observed from Jay's experience? Yes.
Yeah, I think he's doing pretty good for what he has been through in the past, because he's been through hell. I'm going to tell you that. But he's been doing pretty good it's been about a month. Pretty good. He is sleeping a lot better. His appetite is good. It's not great, but my appetite's great. I know what great appetite is. Anyway, the gal was saying that when her hips bothered her when she was asleep on her side. And I've noticed myself that mine have I've had hip issues, and if I have to move around a lot to get comfortable, and I haven't been doing that lately, and I've been sleeping better too. So anyway, I think we're doing pretty good. We'll just keep on drinking and taking the supplements. I think that's what we got to do.
Isn't that amazing?
Do they take a digestive enzyme?
Yes, we added digestive enzyme to it, and also the biggest difference is when he started doing the CBD. The first couple of weeks, it was just Core 4. He's taken it throughout the day, a couple of capsules every time he gets into the dyskinesia. When it's just he starts really bobbing and weaving and moving around. The CBD has really helped.
This is extremely important for him.
Yeah.
I think you can take a 2 capsule morning, noon, and whenever he wants to do.
Yeah, it's made a big difference.
Very non-toxic.
No, and he really wanted to say, well, just what he did, that these are changing his life. I mean, we're 6 weeks into this, and it's amazing. He's out traveling. Amazing. They're doing things. In fact, we missed him last Monday night. Usually we do a Monday night call, and that's where I was able to record this a couple weeks ago. And he wasn't here last Monday because they were out doing stuff. They got a chance to leave their home and go do some things because Jay felt comfortable enough being out. And so I just thank you, Dr. Prasad.
I think after a couple of weeks, Jeff, you should take another video for next month presentation of any kind. This is nobody will believe it.
That's right.
Well, I'll make sure that Jay gets a chance to see this, what we shared tonight, and he will hear that you asked him to do this again in a couple of weeks. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
That's beautiful. That is just beautiful. Thank you very much, Jeff.
I want to share one story.
Please.
I met one of the people who had a Parkinson's disease in one of our meetings. And he came to me, he said, "Do you know me?" I said, "I may have met you, but I forgot your name." He said, "I'm so and so, but I had a Parkinson's disease." And then he started going up and down, exercise type, up and down. He said, "Look, I don't have Parkinson's disease." I was surprised. I said, "Congratulations." But anyway, I mean, he started at, maybe just started it, Parkinson's disease, not advanced like his was.
Yeah. Yes.
And used this for our protocol. And he said, "Look, up and down, I can do that."
That's beautiful. We had, I don't have it queued up here, but at the summit in Orlando, there was another gentleman there. I think he was one of the Amish.
Yeah.
And who knows, this may be the same one, but he went up in front of the room there with Dave Nemelka and was running around in a circle. And for those of us in the audience, just saying to ourselves, what's the big deal? And his wife made it clear there's no way he could do that prior to taking your core 4,
Yeah.
Dr. Prasad.
So I think,
So
I mean, again, this is, if you look at it, it look like common sense. It is not look like a brilliant mind. His data is there, but people are not using it. Sad thing.
yes, exactly, exactly. Well, and I repeat this sometimes on this program where and sometimes people think it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but those early slides that show the economic impact
Yeah.
of this disease.
Yeah.
So if it's
Amazing.
costing somebody $80 billion, then someone is making $83 billion. So I don't want to imply that there is a financial motive for keeping the money flowing like that. So I'm not implying that at all, but somebody's making a lot of money on this disease, Dr. Prasad.
Yeah, I know. I think, in my opinion, but I don't know it will happen, that as long as it is a nutritional component as a supportive care, you are not substituting the standard care. You are doing a supportive care. There
Add it
should
to
be
it.
no restriction.
That's right.
As long as you have some data to present
Mhm.
it, 1, 2
Mhm.
cases, 3 cases, the government should allow for a mass, you know,
That is true. That is true, Dr.
not just
Prasad.
theoretically, but
Yeah,
actually the patient, not the commercial, but actually the patient who have used it.
that's right. That's
If you
right.
have 3, 4 cases like that and support it, that kind of support should be allowed to
That's
national.
right. That's right. That's right. Because people need to have good nutrition.
Yeah.
So even if that's all we're talking about is like we do with cancer, improve the outcome,
Yeah.
help to get better results,
Yeah,
with standard
exactly.
care.
So we are not
Mhm.
saying that you are substituting it, so there is no threat to
That's right.
the company.
To the industry. There's no threat to
Yes.
the industry. We're just saying let's help us get a better result. Very good. That's a good point to decide. Well, just for the sake of those who are here, we may have time to answer a couple of questions here in a minute.
Sure, I will
But,
be glad to see if I can.
just to round out this part of our discussion, remember Dr. Prasad said that the digestive enzymes will help to improve absorption of nutrition and even improve the results of the benefits of the medication.
Yeah.
CBD boost is good for anxiety, alleviates tremors, just like we just saw in that testimonial, helps a person to sleep better, depression, hallucinations. So lots of good benefits that come from CBD boost. And these are the 2 products here, CBD boost and digestive boost. Sleep
Yeah.
boost also would be a great supplement for those who have trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
So the core 4, the retail cost of the core 4 is closer to $315, $320, but the wholesale cost is like $250, $260. But if you get on subscription, the cost would actually be $205. So I think it went up about $6 or so. So Engage Global is subsidizing our health.
Yeah.
So they actually make it possible for us to buy this at a reduced price. So that's the way to go, folks, is get the reduced price. And Dr. Prasad has said that if you can't afford but a few things, 1 or 2, this is the minimum that you would want to focus your attention on.
Yeah.
The micro daily EMF and the probiotic daily for intestinal dysbiosis. So these are the bundles. The premium bundle, I think, has been discontinued, but you can still build your own bundle. But the core 4 at the top and the basic bundle on the bottom. So just get back with the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will help you to put together the package and compile an order that will be best suited for you. Even if you're not dealing with Parkinson's, you're only thinking about your immune system, or you only want to improve your ability to walk, you only want to reduce inflammation in your joints, you only want to improve your memory a little bit, the person who invited you can help you identify exactly which items will benefit you the most. But we always say that we highly recommend that you Don't expect a pill, potion, or lotion to do for you what you can do for yourself. Change your relationship with your couch. Get moving. And today, the new 10,000, 7,000 is the new 10,000. All you have to do is get yourself 7,000 steps a day. Scientists and research and clinical studies have shown that you can improve your longevity of life as much as 70% by just walking 7,000 steps a day. Doing that, in fact, if you're a couch potato, you're better off being a diabetic smoker than being sedentary. So get moving, even if you can only move a little bit. Park your car further away from Walmart or Costco or Sam's or wherever you shop. Park further away and get those extra steps in, and you will improve your quality of life. It may be tough the first few times, but trust me, after doing it a few times, your limbs will start to feel better. You'll start to feel less discomfort, less pain as you're getting those extra steps in. So just by conclusion, these are really a lot of your thoughts here, Dr. Prasad. Break the cycle of cellular destruction. Parkinson's disease is accelerating on a global scale. Remember, this is World Parkinson's Day. It's fueled by a perfect storm of aging, environmental neurotoxins, and medication-induced toxicity. Dr. Prasad just talked about that, but the damage is not unstoppable. When you use Dr. Prasad's targeted micronutrient protocol, we can break the toxic loop of L-Dopa, heal the gut-brain axis, and deploy powerful antioxidants across the blood-brain barrier, protecting the mind and extending the quality of life. So this is all from Dr. Prasad. So Dr. Prasad, this has just been an amazing discussion, and what a great way for us to take advantage of the fact that somebody decided to call this World Parkinson's Day. So that's fantastic. So we got a few minutes.
Sure.
If does have a question that they'd like to ask Dr. Prasad, remember now, when you have your questions, let's avoid getting into trying to get Dr. Prasad to talk about specific medical concerns that you have, but more about the function of his formulas, what they do, maybe even getting some clarification on what has been discussed here today. You're more than welcome to ask a question, or if you have a particular testimonial, a story that you'd like to share as to how you've benefited from one of Dr. Prasad's products, then we would love to hear from you. So don't be bashful. You now have an opportunity to speak. This is your moment. Wow, Dr. Prasad, we covered that really well. If no one's asking a question about it,
That's good.
yeah. Well, we almost got away from it. Melinda has a question. Go ahead, Melinda. Let's
Excuse my hair. Okay,
let's
yeah.
bring you to the fore.
I just have I'd like to know a little bit more about CBD, how that works and why it's not addictive. I know a lot of people are concerned about that. And I believe that it's not addictive, but I just wonder if you could explain it a little bit more.
Sure. The addictive behavior comes from THC, which is the cousin of CBD. And the plant where you isolate CBD has both THC as well as the CBD. So people presume that when you isolate CBD, there may be some contamination of THC, and therefore it becomes addictive. CBD is not addictive. THC is addictive. But in the beginning, they didn't know the difference until they separated out. And in our preparation, we have from the hemp plant. The hemp plant has a 0.3% to start with, 0.3% THC.
Almost
So it
nothing.
is very little. But so we get a plus. Our is purified and tested by third party. He has no trace of THC. Is highly purified crystal CBD. So you can be assured that it is not addictive because it has no THC. By itself has never been shown to be any addictive behavior. But if it is contaminated with THC, that it could. And so you can be, Melinda, you can be assured that there is no addictive behavior. And the reason it is so important, because not only it increases in the brain of serotonin level. See, right now, like Prozac or Zoloft, they are considered as an inhibitor of serotonin reuptake that doctor recommends for anxiety and depression. And this CBD also act as an inhibitor of serotonin reuptake, but has no toxicity. Second thing, in addition to that, in order to increase the serotonin level further, the CBD stimulates the synthesis of the enzyme, which makes the serotonin. So you have a double. You prevent the uptake so that they don't get destroyed, and then make a new CBD. So maximum level of CBD your brain will have it. And that is
Serotonin, yeah,
important for calming you down, decreasing the depression and anxiety.
that's
It
beautiful.
also, by stimulating a D2 receptor, which is a dopamine receptor, you increase the dopamine level at the same time. And dopamine level makes you happy. So combination is very good. Then at the same time, you're all simultaneously working, that it prevents the release of glutamate, because glutamate release will cause you hyperactivity, anxiety, and all kind of neurological issues. So you have one single agent doing three things without toxicity. What else you want?
Wow, that's
Thank
beautiful,
you.
Dr. Prasad.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for your question, Melinda. That was very well
Melinda has
timed.
always nice question.
That's very good. That's a sound bite there that we need. So we're going to make sure that folks get access to that. Sandra has her hand up. She was the next one. So go ahead, Sandra.
Yes, mine's not a question. It's an experience. Actually, a few months ago, I noticed when my husband was addressing an audience that he started having head shakes. And so recently he has pain in the back. So I started giving him CBD oil for the pain. And then today, when he was addressing the audience, I noticed no more head shakes. So I didn't know until this session that that would help that. I was just thinking the pain. So I just wanted
Wow.
Because,
Thank you,
again,
Christine.
decreasing the glutamate which causes hyperactivity. And so by decreasing the glutamate, probably he doesn't want to shake head. That was very good question.
That's very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Christine.
It is amazing. I mean, so when you hear these kind of results, I always surprise myself. You predict it, based on science, what you think.
That's
But
right.
when
That's right.
actually it happens in human, animal data you expect sometimes, but human, it is
Yeah,
amazing. I can live a few more years.
that's right. That's right. We're just increasing
My
your
age has
dopamine.
increased.
We like increasing your dopamine. So Christine's got a question or comment. Go ahead, Christine.
Hi, thank all of you, Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. My question is, if a person is already on the antidepressant drug, they're taking it, they're being prescribed for it, how can you introduce the CBD? Do you have to wean them off of the other depressant medication before you can add the CBD, or can you give them the CBD alone until they, reach that point of getting off of it?
Can you repeat the question?
That's a very good question. Her question, Dr. Prasad, was if a person is already taking, say, an antidepressant drug, a serotonin reuptake inhibitor,
I see.
how can they transition? Can they take the CBD along with their medication and then slowly reduce the amount of depression drug with a doctor approves it?
I mean, I would say that, you have to discuss this issue with the doctor, because if you are already on a depressing drug, which does something good, but in this case, if you combine with the CBD, there is no contraindication. In other words, suppose these drugs that you are taking it act as a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, and now you give a CBD, would also act as a CBD inhibitor.
Right.
So either you will feel much more better if you combine them together, because the CBD has some other effects, makes you happy, dopamine level, down regulates the glutamate. So other drug doesn't do all these things except act as a increasing serotonin level. So I would say that if you discuss with your doctor and ask him that, can I take both? My prediction is that he will say, yeah, you can take both.
Yeah,
I
because
know
I don't
that
really think he needs to be on it, because I think they
that-
just put him on there because they felt like he was depressed. He wasn't really depressed. He just
I
wasn't
see.
eating and doing some things. So that's why I wanted to get him on yours before they got him on that other one. So that's why I was asking you about the
Very good.
CBD.
Very good. I think then that's what Dr. Prasad just said will answer your question. We have had others who have got the same kind of benefits. I know personally a family member that worked with their doctor, got off of their meds, and that's what they're using. In fact, I just FedExed a couple of bottles of CBD because that's the benefits that they've been getting from that. So, but thank you for your question, Christine. Let
Thank
us
you
know
so
how
much.
it turns out, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right, very good. So we're about to wrap up, but Denise, if you've got a quick one, please go ahead.
Yes, I was just going to say that Marvin was on antidepressants for years, and he started taking Dr. Prasad CBD. And after a year, his doctor personally weaned him off and told him he didn't need to take his antidepressants any longer. The CBD was helping him. He no longer is experiencing depression as long as he remains on the CBD.
Yeah.
One time we decreased it and he started feeling a little depressed.
Yeah, no,
So
you
we
have
went
to
back on the double doses of CBD
Yes.
daily, and he does not have any symptoms of depression any longer.
Yes. Yeah, that's
That's Dr. Prasad, that's what you call dropping the mic right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Denise,
Yeah, you
thank
answered my
you very
question. I
much.
thought that this will happen, but there was actually it happened sometimes.
That's beautiful. Dr. Prasad, thank you very much, sir.
Sure. Thank you.